Hello guys, I'm going to talk about a terrorist attack on the World Trade Center. Now you're already thinking about 9/11, but that's not what it's about. I'm talking about an attack 8 years earlier before September 11th. More specifically, the World Trade Center bombing of 1993. Why is this important, you may ask? Because it was the first attack on US soil and it eroded the taboo of US invulnerability. It was the precursor, in a sense, of a greater attack to come. What happened was, essentially, a man named Ramzi Youssef came to America. He hated the hegemon of America and sought to end it by any means necessary. He was also the nephew of Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Ramzi Youssef also met with Sheikh Omar Abdul Rahman. Keep this in mind, as I will mention him later, the mastermind of both attacks of 1993 and 2001. They both together tried to inflict as much damage by any means necessary. Yusuf also had a bunch of co-conspirators with him that came to America. Disguising themselves as refugees, they snuck in easily. Their motives were to end US involvement in the Middle East, and so they thought to themselves, if we inflict enough damage on the American soil, then the US will stop supporting Israel and stop getting involved in the Middle East. They had to settle on a target, which was the iconic World Trade Center. Yusuf had a goal in mind. By blowing up Tower 1, the North Tower, the explosion would shake the tower so much that it would topple into Tower 2, the South Tower. So how did he do it? He basically grabbed a bunch of chemicals and smuggled in a bomb into a rented Vajdaran on February 26, 1993. The explosion shook the towers to the core. However, the towers didn't topple as he expected. The buildings were left standing still in the aftermath. 6 people died and about 1,000 were injured. The explosion cut out the power lines, the electrical system, and the elevators didn't work out as well. The towers essentially became a chimney with smoke pouring out of its basement. People had a hard time evacuating as smoke poured out of the stairwells, leaving people a harder time breathing and finding their way out. A group of kindergartners and a bunch of other people had to be airlifted from the roof. All in all, security was increased after this incident as bomb-sniffing dogs were allowed. The FBI got their act together and apprehended the perpetrators of this act. Also, remember the guy I mentioned earlier, the Sheik? Well, he wanted to do a follow-up attack. Inspired by this bombing, there was a plot to destroy New York landmarks was formed. However, the FBI wasn't having it as they were paranoid as the recent attack occurred, so they anticipated future attacks. With the help of an informant, the FBI was able to arrest the plotters, putting the Sheik in jail and his co-conspirators. As for Ramzi Youssef, he was eventually arrested after attempting to do another failed terror plot. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was arrested post 9/11. As for what Youssef did that got him arrested, could be another video unto itself. Overall, the failed bombing showed even the world's superpower was vulnerable to terrorism and will be overshadowed late years later to now we know as 9/11.
Next time we'll bring them both down.